Welcome back to Crit and Crit. I'm Axion.
I'm Sint.
And we are continuing with Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Wait, go back. Who is that guy?
That's a dwarf. In Final Fantasy V. Huh?
Is he important?
Not really.
Oh, then carry on. Speaking of, our topic today is chasing influence.
That there's not going to be any influence at the end of this tunnel.
I don't know. Is this guy important?
Nope. He just tells me about something I already knew about.
Yeah. So, when we mean chasing influence, we basically mean exactly what it sounds like. Trying to attach yourself to the coattails of people poised for or connected to the success of others for personal gain. Which means we're going to be talking quite a bit about one character in particular, Professor Slughorn.
Did I come back to heal? Yes, I did, because I was low on MP. So
Axiom, what was your impression of Slughorn?
I mean, he's pretty much exactly what is advertised. He is a clout-chasing former teacher who is primarily interested in foisting up students that can be an advantage to him in positions of power as adults. Making connections and fostering alliances in their foundational youthful days that will then turn out to be advantageous to him at a later time.
Yep. And what I find kind of interesting is, honestly, this is a portrayal of a Slytherin that we haven't really seen before, but it's not at all surprising given the general description we have of Slytherin House. Ambitious, driven, and part of ambition is networking. So it's honestly a little bit surprising it took 6 books to get a Slytherin like Slughorn to make an appearance. The closest we've really had to chasing influence from other Slytherins in prior books is basically just Malfoy saying, "My dad's famous and he's going to hear about it if you make me upset."
The closest we had for clout chasing in the past was not even a Slytherin, it was a Hufflepuff. With
which one?
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Ah, yeah. Though I thought he was a Ravenclaw.
Nope, he was Hufflepuff.
I couldn't remember. That doesn't really seem right. This seems more like a Ravenclaw scene from what he did, considering, like, a Hufflepuff would be too loyal to betray people like that, but a Ravenclaw might be the type to come up with, here's a scheme where I can do this thing without doing much work on my part.
I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure that he was supposed to be Hufflepuff.
No, I'm Googling it now, I'm upset.
I need to find the switch that makes that not be a thing.
Okay, according to WizardingWorld.com, sorted into Ravenclaw House, Lockhart was soon achieving good marks in his schoolwork, but there was always a kink in his nature that made him increasingly unsatisfied.
Okay.
If he was not first and best, he would rather not participate at all. So, yeah.
Okay, my bad.
But yeah, your point stands. Not a Slytherin. Oh, thank you, Google. Apparently, Rita Skeeter was also a Ravenclaw. Much the same thing of I'm very good at these things, and I'm very smart. Smart enough to find ways around doing the actual legwork. But yeah, it's also kind of interesting that, you know, as I mentioned before, Slughorn is basically the first benign Slytherin we've met. He does still seem to have some of the old wizarding prejudices, at least to the extent that he mentions to Harry that he was surprised that Lily Evans, Harry's mother, was Muggle-born because of how talented she was at her schoolwork. So there's a little bit of low-key racism there of like, a Muggle-born shouldn't be able to do this, and good on you for succeeding in it. But he's not one of the, oh, they shouldn't be allowed to attend our school and rah, 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 rah.
Right. Which is kind of like comparing getting a paper cut to losing a finger.
Yeah. But it's actually a major complaint I had about the series, even as I was a teenager reading it, of Slytherin made a very difficult sell for a villain just because of how unrealistic its portrayal was. There's basically every evil wizard came from Slytherin, rah, 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 which means all the Slytherins must be bad. To the point where it's like, okay, Hogwarts has the hero house, the villain house, and also these two houses. And it took very deep into the series for any attempt at change to be made to that formula. And I still honestly think it was too little too late. We really probably needed to see more people like Slughorn from Slytherin early on. And honestly, we needed to see more jerks and irredeemable monsters from other houses. Because, well, as we've seen, two fairly major antagonists from other books, were non-Slytherin, and they were able to pose a real threat in, obviously, the quest for gaining that influence and being close to the action and getting the glory. But we're a bit off the mark here. So, have you ever had a teacher like Slughorn where they very clearly play favorites as soon as they find out that, wait, your uncle is the police chief? Can we talk? I'd like to meet up with him. Or, wait, you're second cousins with the mayor, or something like that. Have you ever had any teacher like that who very clearly wanted to get in good with the crowd?
Not teacher, no. I had a lot of people like that at church.
Still an authority figure of some sort. Go ahead.
Mostly they were just people who wanted to be closely involved with sorry about that. Trying to get these guys started. Basically just clout chasers. People who wanted to get closely connected to whoever was in charge at the time, and just... There's not really much more to say about it than what it is. I'm not gonna, like, start naming people specifically.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. What's it like to be around someone like that, who, like, you know that they're just trying to use you, maybe not even for something you did, but because of who you know?
I mean, it kind of makes you feel, unnecessary?
Yeah, and that's kind of quickly an impression that Harry and others seem to form around Slughorn. Harry's introduction to him is when Dumbledore's trying to track him down to take the open teaching position, which at the time Harry assumes defense is dark arts, we later learn is potions. So, Dumbledore is at first unable to persuade him, so he leaves Harry alone with him. Harry has no idea what's going on, but we know that Dumbledore and Slughorn both know that Harry's job is to convince Slughorn to take the job. So, one of my best friends is a Muggle-born, said Harry, and she's the best in her year. Funny how that happens sometimes, isn't it? Not really, Harry said coldly. Oh, you mustn't think I'm prejudiced, said Slughorn. No, haven't I just said your mother was one of my all-time favorite students? And there was Dirk Cresswell, the year after her, too, now the head of the Goblin Liaison Office, of course. Another Muggle-born, very gifted student, and still gives me excellent inside information on the goings-on at Gringotts. Slughorn then proceeds to go over all of these framed photos he has with all of these ex-students. Barnabas Cuff, editor of the Daily Prophet, always interested to hear my take on the day's news, and Roger Sloom of Honeydukes, a Hamburger birthday, and all because I was able to give him an introduction. And at the back, if you see her Ukrainian neck, that's Gwendolen Jones, who of course happens to Holyhead Harpies. People are always astonished to hear I'm on first-name terms with the Harpies, and free tickets whenever I want them. What finally convinces him is Harry innocently points out, wait, can these people find you to send you stuff? Because Harry's just like, wait, if you can just get this stuff in the mail whenever you want, how have the Death Eaters not found you? And then Slughorn realizes, I've been incommunicado with everyone I know for a year. We're not going to question how Dumbledore found him, Dumbledore went on. But, yeah, this does convince him. Mostly, he misses his influence and the ability to, use it. Because what good is it to have this little black book of all of the connections you could ever want if you can't use it or show it off at any point? So, yeah. Vanity and ambition is what gets Slughorn back to work, and he immediately starts up again. Before they even get off the train, he's starting to round up influential students. And as soon as he finds out they're not really on good terms with their famous relations, he stops talking to them. Cormac McLaggen seems to be his favorite because McLaggen is on good terms with his famous relative and loves to talk about it. Harry does not want to be there. Ginny got rounded up because apparently Slughorn was impressed by watching her hex someone who was annoying her. So, Harry and Ginny are just like, yep, we're here too. Though Harry, of course, can't get out of this because he is the most famous person to exist. So, Harry doesn't really much care for Slughorn to that extent, but he's an okay teacher. This goes on throughout the year, and it's mostly playing to Slughorn's pride and respect for the students that he has had before, and how much he liked them, all the influence that lets Harry gain access to his memory regarding Rowling's workbooks, which is probably the main reason Dumbledore wanted to get him at Hogwarts in the first place. Not the fact they really did be a potions teacher. So, yeah. What good is it to be a clout chaser if you are openly known as a clout chaser, and a lot of people who aren't comfortable with that will straight up avoid you? Because Lockhart was similar, but Lockhart did have a major advantage over Slughorn.
He was famous and good looking, if I remember correctly.
I was literally just gonna go with he was hot. Slughorn is, retirement aged, and there was not... Harry did mention that when he had undone his disguise, he didn't look that different from the armchair he was disguised as.
He is, once again, Rowling slapping people that are meant to be seen in a negative light with various fat commentary about their weight.
See, I actually didn't read him as fat because bad person. Slughorn actually describes himself as, I'm in my retirement years, I'd like to have my creature comforts. Which, when you have lived a full life, and you aren't in a position to enjoy yourself, there's nothing wrong with letting yourself go. So I didn't take it as that negative, but yeah, with the overall trend, I can definitely see that. I forgot to close the tab I was looking at people's houses in, and it pops up. What house was Petunia Evans in? 4 Privy Drive. I should close this one distracted, but I'm not too sure what else we can say here.
I think there is something to be said for the idea that what's the word I'm looking for?
Not sure.
We can save it for another episode. I'm sure I'll think of it by then.
Alrighty. In that case, we will see you later.
See ya!